Hello, welcome to VR TV. And we have a great announcement to make tonight that Comcast has a new platform called Made in Medford. One of 6 cities in the country, madeinmedford.com, and Visual Radio's there. Good evening, you're on Visual Radio.
Hey, is this Joe?
It is.
Hey, Joe, it's Bruce Sudano. How are you?
Great, Bruce. Hey, you know, it's kind of cloudy in Boston. Does that constitute it's a rainy day soul day?
Oh, I could be. But the rainy day soul day is kind of like, it could be sunny out, but it could be cloudy in your heart, you know?
Oh, is that what it's all about?
I don't know if that's what it's all about, but it can be.
How did Rainy Day Soul come about?
What it's all about.
Since we're on the subject, how did that song come about?
How did that song come about? Well, you know, I tend to be a contemplative, melancholy kind of temperament, and so I always would refer to it, you know, as my rainy day soul, you know, and at some point it became a song, you know, just, I don't exactly know how it came about, but it was a phrase that I used for a long time to describe when I was having a moody kind of day, and everybody kind of was like, oh, like, okay, Bruce is in one of those moods, you know, so. But actually, as I've gotten older, I've learned to deal with it a lot better, so I don't go there quite as often.
People were talking to rock and roll veteran Bruce Sudano, and I'm very honored you called, Bruce. Thank you very much.
Thanks. It's been a while.
Do you remember the old Crawdaddy magazine?
Sure do.
It's up on Wolfgang's vault now. And there was another magazine around the time called Fusion. Do you remember that?
Not sure.
Barry Glovsky from Fusion magazine had Robert Soma as the editor, and Lou Reed was one of the staff writers, actually.
Wow.
Because he was friends with Soma. Well, Barry was one of my first guests in 1979 on my show. And he's back now, and we're thinking of relaunching Fusion magazine, so this interview might go up on the new Fusion.
So would that be an online magazine?
Yeah, Barry wants to go online, and you know me, I want paper goods in my hands, so I'm thinking of like, let's do a quarterly special collector's item edition, you know?
I like that.
You got to have it for the fans. You got to have those collectibles.
Yeah, exactly. It's kind of like doing a vinyl of your new record just for those people who want it.
Well, you know, my friends in Full Tilt Boogie Band, that's Janis Joplin's band, they're putting out 4 Janis Joplin LPs on vinyl, like the box set of the first 2 Big Brother albums, then Cosmic Blues, and the Full Tilt Pearl album. April 17th. So,
that sounds good.
From your perspective, Bruce, what is this vinyl rage in America? I know in England it's big, but...
Well, from my perspective, it's just a matter of, you know, I think there's a movement surfacing very subtly, but slowly but surely, of getting back into quality of sound. I think that part of what's gone on in this digital revolution is that people have kind of thrown sound quality to the wayside in lieu of expedience and ease and kind of listening to music on their computers and all this. But I think slowly but surely sound quality is going to come back to the fore, and people are going to start getting some better ways of listening to their music. And I think it becomes incumbent on the people making music to digitally to make the quality of what is put out there better. So I think that the vinyl, you know, probably right now has a bit of nostalgia attached to it. It's a little bit of a throwback thing, but it also, part of that is also the quality of the sound and the warmth of the sound and all of that. And I think that moving forward, I think we're going to get to a place where digitally we're going to be able to have files that are downloaded that are better sound quality as well.
I hope you're right. I think we may be on that track.
Yeah, I think so. I think so.
Your kids are adults now, but did they ever use the earbuds?
Oh, yeah, everybody uses earbuds.
I feel that the record labels, the ones that exist, are making this music for earbuds that just doesn't translate, like you were saying, like the warm vinyl sound coming out of big, huge speakers.
Yeah. Well, I mean, it's true. I mean, when I mix something, I will not only listen to it on the studio, big speakers in the studio. I'll go and listen to it on my laptop, just because I realize that that's how most people are going to probably hear it. So, you have to take that in consideration. But ultimately, it's not the best case scenario, and hopefully things will evolve to that place. I think they will.
Well, David Johansen of the New York Dolls said rock and roll fans will listen to even an out-of-phase, A&M radio, but yeah, it's not optimal to listen on a laptop.
Right, exactly. It's just easy.
But Phil Spector would always do his mono mixes for AM radio, and a laptop's kind of like the modern AM, isn't it?
Exactly. Yeah, that's exactly right. So that's why you have to take that into consideration. But again, I think we're going to be moving to some better sound quality and better digital, bigger files, so that the sound quality can be bigger and better. And I think it'll be good all the way around, because I think that if people, we came from a generation where everybody had the best turntable they could get, and the best amp and the best speakers that they could afford. And people would spend money trying to get those particles, those pieces in place, so that they could have a good sound system. And somewhere along the line, I think a generation got skipped, and they missed out on that. But I think there's a market there that's going to be evolving.
Yeah, John Till from the Full Tilt Boogie Band said that he got the Pearl album in quadraphonic. And he actually bought the speakers to hear it in quad. But isn't that like 5.1 surround sound these days?
Yeah, I guess so.
5.1 surround sound in the DVDs, you could just place the music around the room. Quad was a kind of first step in that direction, maybe.
Yeah, but again, I think the proven thing is that stereo is it's the way to go with sound, and I think that a great stereo system with a good quality recording and a good quality way to have the music played back is still the ultimate, and would probably be the way that most people would go.
So the laptop is kind of a modern stereo AM.
Yeah, it's like your transistor radio from back in the day.
But they were trying to institute stereo AM. It never really took off. And the laptop is kind of the stereo AM.
Yeah. Well, I think before they got to that, I think FM kicked in, and that was the end of stereo AM.
I think you're right.
But anyway, so listen, I have a new record getting ready to come out. You want to hear about that?
I would love to hear about it. How many tracks?
Well, it's going to be 10, only because that's how old school I am.
Okay.
So I probably recorded about 16.
Oh.
But I've kind of whittled it down to 10, and the first single is going to be coming out shortly. I just finished the video that's being edited now, and the CD is called "With Angels on a Carousel."
Great.
And it's I think it's the best record I've ever made. I think it's the best songs I've ever written. And that may or may not be true, but I think as an artist, that's the way you're supposed to feel all the time.
I love Angels stuff, and Angels are big these days.
Are they? Well,
It's
all right.
it's a big topic.
I'm in the moment.
You are, because Angels people are, beyond touch with an angel, people are really getting into angel inspiration.
Yeah. Well, I believe in angels.
Oh, there's definitely people supporting us that we don't see. Our spirits.
Yes.
I
That's kind of where I come from as a writer. I often think about where people write from and the place that they write from, and some people are political writers, and some people are clever songwriters, and my inspiration has always basically come from a spiritual place, and that's where I draw from. And as much as many of the publishers over the years that I've had have, tried to push me away from that and that's really where my heart and soul is inspired from, and as well as I guess life experience. But maybe that's where my leaning is.
Bruce, you had a 2008 single out, and we discussed it in 2009. I talked to you. We had a bit of an interview. Have you released anything in between the 2008 release and now?
Yeah, I released. I think you missed my last record because I remember with the Rainy Day Soul album, you did a review and we talked, and then my last record was called Life in the Romantic, and it actually surpassed what I did with the Rainy Day Soul record in terms of sales and awareness and chart stuff and all that. So it,
When was that around, Life in the Romantic?
that was, I think it was 2009.
I think I might have reviewed it. It you know.
Maybe did. I don't remember, but it was a good record. It was a good record. So.
So it's about 3 years in between.
Yeah, well, it takes me that long. By the time, you finish a record, and then, usually the next year after you finish the record, it's all about promoting that record and what goes on about that. And then, I kind of, need a bit of a time just to, downtime just to regroup to start writing for the next record. So, it turns out that's about how long it takes me between records. And I spent most of last year writing and recording the new record, and I was out in Los Angeles the last couple of years. So last year I was out in LA, and that's where I wrote and recorded the new record.
Do you live out in LA as well as Nashville?
I live in LA, and I live in Nashville, and right now I'm in Florida.
Okay, so you bop around.
I do bop around.
That's interesting. So when you're in these three cities, do you go out and bring the guitar and just start playing?
Yeah, that's kind of what I do. Typically what I typically come to Florida this time of year, and I don't write. I really set myself up for the year. I kind of run on the beach, I read, I pray, and I just kind of like gear myself up for the year and kind of figure out what's going to go on and how I'm going to do it, and kind of build myself up and from the year that's passed and get ready for the years to come. So I'm not always able to do that. I actually haven't been down here in a couple of years, but I like to do this when I can. So that's kind of the mode I'm in right now, and it's a nice time. I'm fortunate to be able to do that when I'm able to do it,
Yeah, you have a busy life, and it's good that you're able to take a step back and make a record album again.
Yeah, well, last year was kind of a year where we kind of stepped back, didn't do a lot of touring, and it was really a time so that, I could write and could record and take advantage of that time. Otherwise, I'm not really somebody that writes on the road a whole lot. So,
How are the road gigs going now? Are you having fun?
I love, that's my favorite thing to do. I mean, that's what I come out of, Alive and Kicking, was started way back in the mid-'60s, and that's how we started, playing clubs and playing live. And so that's always my favorite thing to do. It's, to me, it's a lot, it's the most fun because, I love writing songs and I love making records, but in some way that's a lot more work. Being on stage and just performing the songs is just pure fun.
How many instruments do you play, Bruce?
I play, basically I play guitar and keyboards.
Right, you did the keys in Alive and Kicking, right?
Yes, I did, yeah.
Yeah, which is just a magical record. Was it Bob King who produced it with?
Tommy produced that record with Bob.
Yep. And was Jimmy Wisner involved at all?
Jimmy Wisner was the arranger, yeah.
Oh, wow, because Jimmy did a lot of work with Jerry Ross, who did Spanky and Our Gang and Bobby Hebb. And
I mean, Jimmy's a great arranger. I think he still works with Tommy.
Oh, that's incredible.
Yeah.
I just had Jerry Ross on last week, who did all those great hits in the 60s. Keith, 98.6, Jerry Butler. And Wisner is really, he did some amazing work.
He sure did. He still does.
But Tighter Tighter still sparkles out of the radio. It's an extraordinary record.
It is an extraordinary record. You know, it's like it's funny because it's not a song that people like know off the top of their heads until you sing them the song, and then they go, "Oh yeah, I love that song. I remember that song." You know, but if you just say "Tighter and Tighter," people kind of look at you. But then as soon as you sing the chorus, they get it.
It's a gorgeously romantic song.
Yeah. In fact, I spoke to Sandy Toder today, who's the female vocalist on that song. I haven't spoken to her in quite a few years, and just today we spoke.